testing. Check, check, 1 2 1 2. Check, check, 1 2 1 2. Live stream element is a go. Stream element is on Twitch. This is gonna take a while. I literally just got back. I literally just arrived at my house, so I need to get everything sorted out. Hello. Who is it? Oh, hello, Yuya. How's it going, buddy? Yeah, we're still setting up. Luckily, now that I have. How is my mic voice, by the way? Yeah, luckily because I have my wireless microphone now, I can just talk while setting everything up. I'm gonna need to set up my second camera, so this is gonna take like a couple minutes. Yeah, how's it going, Yuya? How was Super Robot Wars? Okay, Restream bot is in YouTube. Okay, hello, Overhealing. Thank you for redeeming the first. Thank you for redeeming that. Hello. Hello, Yuya. How is my audio, by the way? How's my audio? Can someone go and check? It's fine. Oh, alright, alright. Where is the VOD Ninja? Augmentation. Oh, wow. Same front. Yeah, it's been a while. I say it's been a while, but I literally just I literally did an IRL stream like 2 days ago. I turn on. Okay, how about now? Okay, now it's back. Like, what the heck just happened? My receiver just turned off by itself. I can tell you're already saying hello. My name is Nanatan, manga translator VTuber, just by VTuber model LMAO. Ah, you guys remember my intro? Oh, that is so cute. That is so sweet. Ah, thanks, guys. Yeah, I guess we can restart it. Uh, Hello and welcome to the stream. My name is Nanatan. I'm a manga translator VTuber who is not currently translating a manga because I literally just got back from the city from last weekend's a IRL stream, sort of just regular webcam stream. So if you guys don't remember that, yeah, this is so messy. My table is so messy because I haven't touched this desk since Saturday when I was packing to go to the city for that stream last Saturday. Also, my throat is so sore. I hold on. I need extra honey to go along with my ginger tea. Yeah. I literally just got back like an at least an hour and a half ago, and it was 6 hours of just not 6 hours. I left at 2. Well, I guess it was 6 hours. Yeah, it's a 6 hour motorcycle ride from the city to my home. And at the very beginning of the road trip, I got drenched by the rain. So I might get sick tomorrow. I may come down with a cold tomorrow, so I am doing my best to get myself warmed because on the way I was riding very cold. My jacket got drenched as well, so I had to go on a motorcycle ride through a mountain, uh, just on a t-shirt, wearing just a t-shirt and a raincoat. And I underestimate the cold night air. I have a cold schedule tomorrow. Don't want to miss that appointment. Yeah. So I'm just trying to get myself warmed up. I do not even have my electric fan on. Oh, that's good. But we're gonna need to add some extra honey in there. So, how is everyone doing tonight? I hope you are doing well, and I hope you have a wonderful week ahead of you. As for myself, I barely went out at the city during my weekend off. It was meant to be for a work trip, and I did a mess. I kind of messed up with the scheduling, so I'm not gonna elaborate on that in case my boss actually watching this stream. I'm taking my drawing finished, but I keep finding details I need to edit. Oh yeah, you told us about that. Who are you? Uh, who are you drawing again? DXC, DXC Danny. All right, sure. Wait, I think I know this dude. I think I recognize him from somewhere. And Twitter just logged me out. I can already feel my throat's going sore from the upcoming cold. And I had to miss work today because I was at the city and because I was going home. And I have a meeting tomorrow morning. Anyway, enough about work stuff. So let's talk about IRL stuff. Yeah. I finally met my nephew for the very first time. He was absolutely adorable. Let me show you guys the picture that I took. I believe this is the first time, this picture is the first time he was able to lay down, just lay down and lift his head. Loading the WhatsApp message. I don't think it's a good idea showing a baby on the internet. Why? Why not? Yeah, you know what? Not gonna show it to you guys. Algo is not ripe yet. The baby is not yet ripe. Privacy and to protect the baby's identity. Yeah. All right. Also, the baby is not yet ripe. He's only 1 month old. He needs to grow yet. Ripe for the taking. For making content. He needs to be ripe so I can monetize him. Don't worry, I already have his parents' consent about making that joke. So yeah, last night I'm gonna start family vlogging channel. I mean, they could be. I don't know, depending on his mother's consent, I guess. But yeah, last weekend's stream was kind of a success. Thank you so much for you guys tuning in on that very unhinged stream. It started as me trying to sort out my manga and it turned into some kind of a cosplay showcase kind of thing. But I really enjoyed that. Uh, Probably gonna bring that kind of format back sometime in the future, just in case if I ever go to the city again, because I still have like a bunch of other costume that I never show you guys, like that I didn't try during that stream. Maybe if I do have enough time, because my brother actually do keep some of my cosplay stuff in his office. Maybe I could just go and take it and wear it for the stream. Maybe as an incentive for a subathon or something. I don't know. Uh, anyway, this is some. So before we begin, the okay, first agenda. So a little bit update on the MangaDex thing. So, oh frick! Oh wait, did I? Oh thank goodness, it didn't show up. My real email didn't show up. Okay. So here's a little bit update on the MangaDex DMCA massive takedown. Uh, the they find the creator of the index of the list of the docs of the list of manga that got banned. Uh, they still they are still updating the list of manga that was deleted from MangaDex, it is now over 1,680, and it's still counting. However, you can actually try and submit your if you want to help out with this list to see which series that got banned. You can also submit the title if you found the chapter is gone after the massive takedown. So if you went to the Reddit thread of the MangaDex DMCA thing, well, they compile a list. You can contribute to this, and they will try to add it into this document. And speaking of, MangaDex has finally issued a response regarding to the DMCA takedown. So they just posted their copyright frequently asked questions. So let's get to it, because I did got glimpse of this as I was uploading the chapter of Akinotobari. So here we go. Copyrights claim frequently asked question. This document is made to address some common questions regarding the recent removal of a significant number of chapters from the site on or around May 16, 2025. 1. What happened? MangaDex received a takedown request that affected approximately 7,000 titles. So it is a lot more than the ones that put on the spreadsheet. I do not expect to be that much. Like over 7,000 titles just gone in a single night. Who sent the takedown request? The right holders. This could be mean anything, because there is a recent news on the Anime News Network that I read that Reaper Scans, one of the largest scanlation group who does manga and webtoon, got taken down by massive corporation. I forgot which one was it. And they decided to delete the entire website. So Reaper Scan is gone, along with the titles that they do. I forgot which one did they do. I forgot which. Yeah, because I used to frequent Reaper Scans as well. I think it was Father Unrivaled, because they also Father Unrivaled, not Grandmaster of the Cultivation. There is something else. Forgot which one was it. Dang it. Me and my inability to recall names when command. God dang it. But I do read a couple of webtoons that was translated by them. Anyway, number 3. Why didn't you warn about incoming takedown? As a host, we're unable to provide advance warning. Uploaders are made aware once the content has been taken down, and they have 14 days to file a counterclaim to reinstate the content. Good luck, have fun. I'm gonna touch up my drawing. Oh, okay. Have fun as well. Are there more takedowns? Please refer to answer the previous question. Yeah. My content was removed. Can I access it? Right now, no. As we adapt the platform to better handle these requests, we will look into it. Why is there a tick box tick box on the chapter upload page. So this is something that I actually noticed when I uploading the Arknights chapter. So if you try to upload something on the MangaDex, there is a check mark at the bottom of the page next to the upload button that says I comply to the terms of service and the content policy, and then at the bottom it says that I am the copyright holder of the manga. I think this is a way for them to mitigate the copyright issue of the MangaDex manga, because recently because they've been pushing for the official release of the manga, especially like for example on Jump Plus, on Manga Plus. For all Shonen Jump titles, they will have a link that will redirect to the Manga Plus page, right? Because the right belongs to Shueisha. However, as for some of the and recently they have been pushing for original manga, right? Original manga that was created by users. For example, what's the most recent one that's really popular right now? This, My New Girlfriend Is Not Human? Question mark, which is created by Yagi, one of the contributors of the MangaDex itself. It was uploaded by the user. It was self-published, and it has been really popular on MangaDex recently. And they've been pushing like a lot of original manga created by users. But with the DMCA takedown, they wanted, so according to this, they wanted to make sure that the chapter, that the manga is uploaded by the actual copyright holder. So what this means is that they trying to push out fan translation from what I'm saying, or at least they wanted to put the responsible of a copyright breach to the uploader themselves instead of the MangaDex platform. That's the way that I see it, because so if there is a breach in copyright, if there is a copyright violation, MangaDex will not take responsible for that. So if any copyright violation is made, the blame will go right towards the user who uploads the chapter. That's the way that I sees it. And it is a really good policy. But the thing is about the copyright, that checkmark thing, I don't think anyone is going to comply to that, considering that people are still uploading fan subs of the official of the manga itself. For example, a certain middle-aged man. Because here's the thing about copyright thing. I haven't how manga copyright works, at least from my understanding. So the way that the copyright works, even though the publisher owns the IP for the manga, is that they have to license copyright for each chapter per volume. So basically, if the chapter is still in Japan, the English publisher still doesn't have a right. For example, so sometimes the way that, at least in Indonesia, the way that the copyright works is that the Indonesian publisher only has rights to up to certain volumes of a series. So if they want to, for example, say they wanted to publish Dandadan, for example, and let's say Dandadan has in Japan, Dandadan has up to 10 volumes in this scenario, and in the Indonesian publisher wanted to publish Dandadan in Indonesia. The way it works is that they buy the copyright license for 1 volume each time, right? So they have to license volume 1, and then if they want to keep going, they have to buy the license for volume 2 and volume 3, and so on. So they only have copyright for the manga that is currently they are about to publish, which means the ones that the volume 2 and up that they haven't purchased is a gray area. And that's where the fan subs worked, at least to my knowledge. So even if the Indonesian publisher already has volume 1 published, that doesn't mean they have the rights to volume 2 and so on. I think they already have the volume 2, but the ones after that, they don't have it yet. I don't know. I probably need to ask Daris or anyone from Wrong Obor or any from the official publisher about this. The same thing goes with the let's say J novel, or who was the one that owns Square Enix, the Young Gangan manga. I forgot which publisher. The way that they do it for Simulpub, they have the rights for they need to purchase the rights for each chapter that comes out, and for the chapter that, and sometimes the Simulpub like couple of chapters behind, and so the gap between those is a gray area. That means it's up to grabs for the fan sub, and that's where the fan sub comes in. They put in the chapter before the official publisher has the copyright on that said chapter. Yeah, it's odd that some series that doesn't have an official English translation available to be taken down in a DMCA wave. Yeah, exactly. That's also one of the most infuriating part about this DMCA takedown fiasco, because a lot of this, some of this manga does not even have English publisher. For example, the ones that I worked on, Umakawa. Yes. Umakawa was published by Pixiv. The owner of the copyright holder is Pixiv. I don't know which parent company who owns Pixiv, but it was published in Jin Pixiv magazine, which is an online magazine, and they do not have English publisher. Well, at least during the time when this manga came out in Japan. Because I remember Pixiv does have an official English publisher when they translate their manga in English, but that company was discontinued after a couple of years. I remember that because there are some some official Pixiv manga that I followed in English that did not get continued. Yeah, basically what happened is that hold on, let me see. Too Many Gods. I believe the title, Too Many Gods here. This is one of the manga that I really wanted, that I was following, published in Manga Pixiv, that's released in English. Okay, we got some ads. Yeah, and it stopped at chapter 33. I'm still very upset about this. It's a very interesting manga that got axed because of the English publisher like went out of business or something. Yeah, and it never got released on MangaDex. Yeah, see the final chapter is at volume 40, and the English and the official English thing is at volume 33. The same thing goes with Akinotobari. Because if I remember correctly, Akinotobari, the official Akinotobari over at Pocket Comics is on hiatus at chapter 85. And I did try to stop translating Akinotobari at certain point when they announced Pocket Comics that they're going to release an official translation of this webtoon, right? So they announced it back in 2020, right? And because I heard that there is going to be a official translation, I told everyone over at MangaDex, hey, I'm going to stop translating this webtoon. All right? And everyone was like, okay, sure, but it will take a lot of time for the official translation to catch up on the chapter that I left on. Because I believe I left it on at chapter 100, at chapter 200 something. Right? It was somewhere around that. And it will take somewhere around 3 to 5 years before the official translation caught up. So I said to myself, after some consideration, I decided to keep going with the translation of this, because I see that the translation quality of the official is kinda almost on the same level as what I was working on anyway, except for, the VFX, the sound effect is fully edited. I did a Twitter thread where comparing about the official translation with the original Japanese release. So I kept going, and I think because I kept going, that the official Pocket Comics release stopped because of what I did. And I think that hurt the life of the author himself, the Momochidori sensei. Because after that, after the English release stopped, it was around that time that Comico stopped paying attention to this series. They just stopped giving their support to the series. They stopped promoting it. They did not make any merch about it. And Momochidori sensei got hospitalized multiple times because of eye injury, of eye strain. their relationship between Komiko and Momochidori got so bad that after Akino Tobari finished serialization, Momochidori Sensei jumped ship to G manga. Yeah, which how the Mariaju one shot came to be. And I also translated that one shot and I tried to promote it. And I think because of my promotion, because what I did, I posted on Twitter. I post one page on Twitter and I got called out by a fellow Akino Tobari fan that it might hurt the relationship between Momochidori Sensei and the current magazine, because after the one shot came out, so the one shot of Mariaju, the one shot of this Mariaju is meant to be for Ganma app one shot tournament. Okay, so they have a manga competition where authors can submit one shot, and then the winner will get their manga serialized. I posted on Twitter, and this was 2 years ago, and I haven't heard of Momochidori's new work on Ganma app ever since. And I don't know, maybe that Momochidori went by with a different name. Maybe it's just that there is no update on Momochidori's Twitter page. They still upload art for Akino Tobari, but again, still no confirmation. And I think that is the part where I'm feeling very guilty about. Where my translation may have caused more harm than contributing to society. I don't know why I said society there. But then again, by this point, here's another example. The manga Kamen Rider Spirit, whose copyright belongs to Kodansha and Toei, which does available in Chinese in Indonesia, but not officially available in English. Yeah, you told me about that. That got DMCA takedown as well. And that's just Kamen Rider Spirits. I believe Shin Kamen Rider Spirits got hit as well. Although I don't know if there's anyone out there who's translating Shin Kamen Rider Spirits. But yeah, I believe Shin Kamen Rider Spirit got hit as well. But weirdly, other manga that I am doing did not get hit, even though some of the copyright owners were, for example, Corcel no Ryujutsushi. So the original owner, so it belonged on Zero Sum magazine, which is owned by Ichijinsha, and around a decade ago, Ichijinsha got purchased by Kodansha, by Shueisha. And no, not Shueisha. Who's the copyright owner of Kodansha? Anyway, it's Zero Sum magazine is currently owned by Kodansha. That's their parent company. But there's still no copyright takedown, DMCA takedown on this, which is why I keep going. Because here's the thing, Shuranomon, Shuranomon is owned by Kodansha, and half a decade ago, I got a DMCA takedown because of this. Because I posted a page of this manga on my Facebook and my Twitter, and I almost lost both accounts. Like, I almost lost my main Twitter account by posting pages of this manga. Heck, even mentioning the title, Shuranomon, on my Twitter, just the title alone, no pictures, no anything, that I got DMCA takedown. I got DMCA because of that. And I'm just too lazy to dispute it. I'm just too lazy to dispute those DMCA takedown because I really don't have the actual rights to the manga anyway. Shin Kamen Rider Spirits didn't get hit, oddly. Well, that is odd. Huh. I probably should ask a friend of mine about that. So yeah, DMC takedowns are weird. Yeah, especially that you can barely like dispute that, because I can barely dispute that because I actually do not have the copyright to the manga anyway. So if I get DMCA takedown, there's absolutely nothing I can do. Anyway, back to Akinotobari. So yeah, the fact that I am still translating this is probably detriment to the official release and to the life of the author. Which is why in the credit page, I keep telling people to support the Pocket Comics release, support the official release. But even the official translation they just stopped. They stopped back in 2021. So I had to keep going. I at least owe people to bring this story to its conclusion, which is only 7 chapters left. There's only 7 chapters left of Akinotobari. Maybe at the final chapter I'll do some special stream about that. Maybe I'll go and make some new merch. Oh, which is another thing. Okay, so now back. I'll probably make a new Akinotobari merch. Probably do a giant celebration stream, and probably issue an actual formal apology to Komiko and Momochidori Sensei. But I'm not sure if they'll. I'm not sure if they'll actually be paying attention. Anyway. So yeah, the tick box is probably to shift the blame from, so MangaDex could clean their hands off this. Anyway, Marine Marker's Progress Striker is gone alongside the chapter What Now? We are working on the feature to restore this metadata for affected users. We plan to roll it out soon. Thank you for your patience. What does this mean for other chapters? Right holders may file a DMCA, and MangaDex will comply as long as the claim satisfies the DMCA requirements. Content can be reinstated if the uploader successfully files a counterclaim up to 14 days after the DMCA claim was processed. If no counterclaim is filed, then the content will remain unavailable. Here's the thing: I cannot issue counterclaim on the chapters that got deleted for Umakawa because I do not have the rights to that. I do not have the actual intellectual. I do not hold the rights to the IP. That belongs to Miku Morinaga Sensei, and she does not want to have anything to do with Pick Shift magazine anymore because she already shifted to Line Manga. And Line was owned by Kakao, and the whole mess started because of that company. tried to take down Reaper scans. Yeah. Uh-oh. Exactly. Now it makes sense. I read you will provide my data to the highest bidder to right holders. No, you can read more about how we handle your data by looking at privacy policy. Now we handle DMCA claims by looking at our content policy. Section 5, copyright infringement, which is what everyone is doing anyway. So I don't think this matters because none of the fan translation of this belongs to them anyway. Will not disclose or volunteer users' personal data unless we have been compelled by a court of law to do so. For example, through something called subpoena. What took you so long to create this FAQ? For the size of the website and the community, the core team is small and we have to prioritize our time well. Oh yes, this is another thing. There is another point that I said during my stream last week. Are you shutting down? No. Are you becoming Crunchyroll? No. Let's hope not. We do not want another Crunchyroll. Let's hope not. Because remember, Crunchyroll started as a fan sub website, and then they start releasing official subtitle, and then babading bada boom, they become the official distributor. Yeah, let's just hope. But considering the trajectory of where MangaDex is going, there is a high possibility that in the next 5 years, at least they're not going to be hosting. In the next, I don't think they're going to be hosting the manga over at MangaDex. I think they'll just be like this website of database on how you can directly track your progress on manga and the link and the official link. Because so far, the tracking system on MangaDex is their only saving grace. Is that you can track the thing, and they also support official release. So, and they do redirect links. So, what in the next 5 years what people will use MangaDex for is to track which manga that got released in which website, so they don't have to go to each different website to track their reading list. They can just go to MangaDex to read their manga, and then it will redirect to that website. Oh, thank you for the stretch. Yeah, I do need to stretch a lot because I just spent like the past 6 hours on a motorcycle for 160 kilometers. And also hydrate. Hey, hello Zero. Anyway. Next up, we're talking about the new FAQ issued by MangaDex in regards to the DMCA takedown. Their official statement. Does Namikomi own MangaDex? Namikomi has accepted to take management of the site and its domain. No transaction was performed. Why is Namikomi managing MangaDex now? The recent shutdown of various aggregators has driven an accelerated growth of MangaDex. While we have historically received low volumes of takedown requests, that number has increased to such a degree that we can no longer handle it ourselves. Namikomi has the necessary legal framework to move forward and ensure the long-term sustainability of MangaDex. What are your plans for the future? We will continue working on the features that make MangaDex great and make it an even better platform for content creators. Are the new monetization rules related to the takedown? No, MangaDex has long defended that the content should be accessible for free. Lately, we've seen an increase in the number of content creators implementing draconian monetization features using our platform as a proxy for the advertisement of said system that led association we're not comfortable with, and our community agrees. Okay, so here's the thing. So let's talk about the content policy. Okay, no, that's the copyright infringement. I believe I read somewhere around. Yeah, because they mention about the monetization. So no, no, it's not in the, but it's on privacy policy. Because I remember reading somewhere in the forum is that a couple of say translation group do lock their chapters on behind a paywall. Okay, and that's actually really scummy, should I say? So they they post a chapter, and if you want to read it, you have to pay that group, and then they usually what they did is that they put a watermark, a big watermark on manga on their releases, and they say if you want the watermark removed, go to our website and pay. That's what they either that or they just straight up locked the chapters behind a paywall. I remember that Shogakukan had once goes after the scanlation group who worked on the scanlation of Yuki Dama's Jet Black Hedgehog Shadow the Hedgehog manga. Oh, really? I do not know about that because I wasn't a fan of Sonic the Hedgehog at the time, so I'm not a fan of Sonic. Not really. I don't really follow Sonic news. Yeah, and that's not. Anyway, back to the monetization thing. So what they approve. So the way that monetization would approve is that in a way of say Patreon or Ko-Fi donation, stuff like that, and also. If you're going to lock behind a paywall, you can do that, but say for early access. Early access is also allowed, which is the thing that I do because I'm going to post the chapters on MangaDex anyway. Right? So a lot of my chapters is locked behind a paywall on Patreon, but I will release it in a week later on MangaDex. That's how I usually do, and that's in accordance to MangaDex policy. Because of that, I didn't choose Mini for King and Yuki Imada's manga when starting translation. Oh, so you do have, so you do put a lot of thought into your own translation. I mean, sure, just my advice is just do whatever you want. If it's taken down, it's down. But yeah, but probably because it's down, it will like drain your energy. You will come. There is like a drawback, but good for you for thinking up ahead. I just do like whatever series that I want. So yeah, for the monetization rule, I actually have no problem because I already comply with the rules anyway. It's just that I keep forgetting to put it on MangaDex after I post it on my Patreon. But for my Patreon, it does became public after a week. I posted, I locked it behind my Patreon. And I do put it on MangaDex after it becomes public. So I forgot which one it was. Is it this? Publishing on MangaDex, you must okay, so you must own all the rights to your content. Content must not infringe on the copyright, trademark, or any intellectual property rights or any other party. You must have sufficient intellectual property rights to publish your content in accordance to these terms. None of the fan subs are complying to this anyway, because they do not have the rights, except for the original manga. on MangaDex. They do have the rights to that, but for the fan subs or anything, they don't. By publishing the content on your site, ultimately grant % warrant that you have the right to grant non-exclusive, royalty-free worldwide right, license to host, use, copy, or produce. This license does not permit MangaDex to sell your content. You can end this license-specific content. We do not assert any ownership of your content. Where was it? Where do they put the thing? Because I remember they put the monetization thing. On here. I don't know. Anyway, so yeah, I hope with this new policy, the MangaDex system is going to be more strict, and I hope there won't be any more like massive takedown like this. I mean, there is still going to be a bunch of other takedowns, but I just hope that this kind of scale, the people on MangaDex won't give up on this side, because this is the only place where I could upload my translation. Otherwise, I would have to go back to the new Batodo, and that is like, it's like choosing between the lesser evil. You know, and Batodo is somehow even worse now, because not only they put a translate, it's not just about they put official release on Batodo, that they pirate the official release. It's just that their indexing system is like not good. It's the only thing. It's the only thing that I don't like uploading to Batodo, which is why why I stay with MangaDex. Also the fact that it comes, because it's the place for the official translators come and go. Yeah, I just hope that things will get better for MangaDex from this point out, and no more series got this kind of takedown. I'm rambling, I'm yapping, but you guys get the point. So that's pretty much it for the MangaDex fiasco so far. So anyway, so you guys probably wondering why I have this camera setup. It's because, well, it's looting time. I just got back from my brother's house, and which means I took some stuff from his house. Some of those are actually mine. Some of these things are his that I forgot to say that I'm taking. But yeah, I do have some stuff that I want to show you guys for tonight's show and tell. First item on the list. If you guys remember, I am a subscriber to my friend Studio Ajin, who regularly does a anime figure auction in his Facebook page. And this weekend he did his regular auction, and this is what I won on this weekend's auction. Ta-da! Yeah, it's a paper robot paper robot, a 3D paper folding robot, Goldius Arc. So if you guys remember, a couple of years ago, I did an paper robot building stream. And this comes from the same toy line as that. The box is pretty banged up. It's so unsealed. The seal has long broken, and the box condition is like squished up. So if we open it, we got the same as the last time. We got 3 parts, the promotional material for the paper robot line. So they have all this. I believe the ones that I built is this for the last stream a couple of years ago. You're gonna assemble them later. Probably for that's probably going to be a different stream. That's for another stream, because this assembly, this actually take as long as a freaking actual Gundam, as building actual Gunpla. So anyway, this is the one that I built on the last stream. Yeah. After that, I sort of gave it away to my baby cousin, because he seems to like it very much. And I believe I also bought, I forgot which one that I gave away to a different baby cousin, to my second cousin twice removed. I do have a different one. Yeah, so I believe I bought like 3. I got like 3. One I built on a stream once, and then this is the third one that I got a couple of years ago. So I still have it. I haven't built it because I thought, hey, maybe I should do another stream. Right? This is the Red Legion. I believe, which one? Yeah, it's this one. This one, the one in the middle. Yeah. So this is the one that I bought like years ago. And this is the one that I got today. I literally went to his place today to pick this up. And after that, I immediately went straight home. But wait, there is more. I just realized. So he put 2 paper robot on auction, and I won both items. This is the second item. This is the second item that I won yesterday. Notice something? Notice something, chat? I got the same one. This is the same one that I won like years ago. I can't believe I got a different one. Are you kidding me? Well, I guess I'm giving this one away. This, God dang it. I didn't. Yeah, so Fajrin Ajin, when I visit his place today, he said to me, wait, didn't you already have this one? I thought he was saying something that I bought the paper robot kind 2 years ago. I did not expect him to say, didn't you have the same exact model? I cannot believe to be fair, I only paid like 40 40K each. So that's like what, $3, $3 for each of this. Yeah. So these are the two ones that I got today, right? The Goldius Arc and the Red Legion. And to be fair, I only paid like 40K each, so that's like 80K. Somewhere around $6 to $7. But why? But I did not think that I would gotten the same exact model. Are you kidding me? For fuck's sake. Yeah, and I was thinking before I left my brother's house, I thought, hey, couple of weeks ago was his birthday. Maybe I should leave one of these two behind and give it to him as his birthday present. By the way, shout out to my brother who's having his how old is he? 34 on his 34th birthday. I thought of leaving one of these boxes behind to give it for his birthday present. I never thought that I should. In retrospect, I really should have. Now that I realize that I had doubles. God dang it, me and my impulsive purchase, man. So yeah, maybe in the future stream, if I'm not so busy, I'll probably do this kind of building stream again, because I really had fun the last time. Hold on, let me smell this. Oh my god, it smells like old newspaper. It smells like old magazines. Like, let me see, what's the copyright? Copyright 2010. It says copyright 2010. This is like ancient toy. Actually, let me look up the MSRP for this. Pabot Goldius Arc. Let me look it up. $85K. This is just another auction. Let me see. Educational toys. They do not put the MSRP into this. Year established 2002. Oh, that's the company. Trade showcase baby fair. Price negotiable. Huh. Seriously, what's the MSRP on this? It says, what's a DKK? Oh my, Danish krone, what the, okay, so 500K in Indonesian smackaroos. Danish krone, what the heck? Yeah, apparently the price for this thing is 200 Danish smackaroos, which is like 500K in Indonesian for each. And I got it for like $3, $3. That's a steal. That's a massive steal. Can someone please send me money, because I kind of blow it up on these paper robots. Can someone please donate to me? Can someone please give me a sub? Give me like tier 3 subs so I can like recover from this fight. I don't think I can financially recover from this. All right. So that's my questionable purchase of the week. Next up, I wanted to do something for the. I wanted to add something for the ASMR book club. So I got a bunch of books from my brother's cabinet. I believe I mentioned it last week that my brother collects like a bunch of fictional books. He did attend a book fair and he got like a bunch of books from there. And I got 2 books from my brother's cabinet. One of them is actually mine. This is my book. It's Translation Criticism, The Potential and Limitations. I really want to try do this for the ASMR book club. This is the translation. This is the book that I used for my translation review class back in college. I forgot which one is this. Oh yeah. Translation criticism and in target language text and on. And the thing is, so back then, me and my professor, may he rest in peace, we during that class we actually went and translate this book into Indonesian, and I never actually got to properly read this back in college. So I thought, hey, maybe it's a good time as any to do like a book reading of this, and also maybe it's a good time to go back to basic of my translation journey, and I thought this is a really good opportunity. But who knows? Maybe I plan on doing other books after once I'm done with the Mark Manson book, the ones that we're reading for the ASMR book club, which we will do after this. We'll do it after this show. We'll do this after the show and tell. Next one is the one that actually intrigued me when I opened my brother's closet. I mean his cabinet. This one is every time I find the meaning of life, they change it. Wisdom of the Great Philosophers on How to Live by Daniel Klein. Author of the Sunday Times bestseller Travels with Epicurus. Yeah, this one got me intrigued because on the piggybacking on the Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck book. Yeah, I just like wanted to read like bunch of either motivation or philosophy books. And it's a hardcover too. Like the jacket. So this is the inner cover. Ooh. This is the picture of the author, Daniel Klein. So, and it's like slick black, no cover, just the spine. Well, let me read like the first paragraph. Not long ago, Not long ago, while packing away some books, I came across an old notebook labeled Pithies. Inside were short quotes from philosophers that I had jotted down, one per page, most with barely legible comments scribbled below them. I had to smile. I had almost forgotten about this little collection of mine. The first entries bore the unmistakable blots and smudges of ink from a fountain pen, notes to myself written some 50 years ago with a pen given to me by my parents as a secondary school graduation gift. I must have been 19 or 20 then, and had just decided to study philosophy at university. Should I keep going? How much for the prologue? No, never mind. Yeah, maybe we should just read the actual prologue just for the preview. The reason for that decision and for this notebook was that I have hoped to find some guidance from great philosophers on how to best to live my life. At the time, I didn't have a clue as to what I wanted to do after university. Basically, all I knew was that I didn't want to be a doctor, lawyer, or businessman, eliminations that put me in a distinct minority of my classmates. I figured studying philosophy would be just the ticket to give me direction. About halfway through that notebook, my notations switched to ballpoint pen and my comments on the philosopher's quotes dwindled up to just a few words like, "There's got to be a better way," and "help." The final entry was from the theologian Reinhold Niebuhr. "Every time I find the meaning of life, they change it." Under it, I had scribbled, "Now you tell me." I must have been in my mid-30s when I closed the book on Pithies. My first reaction when I leafed through the notebook these decades later was to cringe at how naive I had been. Did I really think I could learn how to live my life from philosophers, many of whom had lived thousands of years ago? What could I have been thinking? Tips on how to live were few and far between in the philosophy texts I read as a student. Other questions needed to be answered first, such as, how can we know what is true? And is there a rational basis for ethical principles? And what is the meaning of meaning? After all, it made no sense to wonder about the meaning of life, mine and anybody else's, if I didn't know what meaning meant. True, but in the meantime graduation was swiftly approaching, my adult life was about to begin in earnest, and I was desperate for some hints on what to do next. In the following years, I dropped in and out of a couple of graduate schools of philosophy and supported myself by writing quiz questions and stunts for TV game shows, routines for stand-up comedians, and mystery novels. I also traveled a lot, usually lugging around along a few philosophy books. I was still looking for ideas on how to live the best life. Here and there, I did find some truly evocative hints and jotted them down within my increasingly tattered notebook, that is, right up to the point where it struck to me that I was on a naive mission and I tucked Pithies into a box along with some old school books. What may have been around the same time I heard John Lennon famously declare, "Life is what happens to you while you are busy making other plans." The questions of how to live the best possible life had once been the central question of philosophy. It certainly had been what thinkers like Aristippus, Epicurus, Socrates, Plato, and Aristotle had foremost on their minds. And in ensuing centuries, it was the fundamental question of a great variety of philosophers, from humanists to deists to existentialists. But in recent Western philosophy, the how to live question has pretty much taken a back seat to the question of epistemology. How can we know what is real and true? And logic? What are the necessary principles of reason and rational discourse? With a few gratifying exceptions, contemporary academic philosophers have the whole how to live business to daytime TV talk show hosts, smartly dressed motivational speakers, and pop gurus who tend to favor flowing robes. According to the academics, seeking an answer to the how to live question is definitely not the enterprise of any self-respecting modern philosophers. That's unfortunate, I thought, looking through my old notebook after initially scoffing at my youthful naivete. Now I realize that those how to live questions were still pretty much alive in my mind. Sure, they had crept on and my life with its ups and downs had simply happened, as lives tend to do, but my appetite for philosophical ideas about life had not diminished in the least. In fact, as I looked at life from the vantage point of my 8th decade, my hankering for such ideas has only increased. Late in the game as it might be, I still want to live my final years the best way I can. But, more compellingly, I find myself at that stage of life when I want to give my personal history one last look through. And I am curious to see how it measures up to fully considered ideas of a good life. So, 4 years after my last entry in Pithies, I started jotting down new thoughts about those philosophers' quotes that I had long ago copied in that notebook. And then I started collecting new quotes and noodling about them too. Truth to tell, I was having a grand old time. Some of these quotes sums up an entire philosophical position about how to live, while others simply lob a provocative curveball in my direction. But all of them dazzle me now that I ponder them from this end of life. I am struck anew by how eloquent and inspiring great philosophers can be with just a few well-chosen words. I also realize that at my age, one advantage of a concise philosophical statement is that I can still remember its beginning when I get to its end. Personally, I have no problem with mass media gurus or motivational speakers, however they dress. I am sure they are honestly trying to answer a fundamental need in all of us. But some of the great philosophers propose truly trenchant, enduringly relevant ideas about the good life, and it would be shame if those ideas became lost to us under a pile of pop slogans or, for that matter, under a pile of esoteric philosophical analysis of word meanings. So here I offer my collection of concise philosophical precepts about how to live along with a personal commentary on each. Although my commentaries are meant to cast a small ray of illumination on these philosophical pronouncements, they sometimes waft off in the direction of irrelevance and self-indulgence. I have yet to find an acceptable excuse for these digressions. Once I decided to share my pithies with other people, I tried to figure out the best way to sequence them. Chronologically, by when I jotted them down, that felt too arbitrary. By category, such as the happy and pleasant life, the meaningful of meaningless life, the spiritual life, and the good and just life. The problem with category route was that too many of the philosophers' ideas didn't fit neatly under any single heading. So in the end, I went by personal association, how one idea led me, often whimsically, to another, or to put it in another way, pretty much arbitrarily. Here, then, are my pithies, old and new, accompanied by my reflections, young and old. They may raise more questions than answer, but oh, what delicious questions they are. Oh, that's a really good hook. Alright. So yeah. Another thing that I want to mention. So during my travel of bringing these books here, uh, I got hit by sudden rain along the way, and my bag got absolutely super wet because of that. All my stuff that I carried inside that bag was drenched, especially because what did I keep saying? Because some of my stuff I put inside a cardboard box, and that cardboard box got wet. For example, remember the carrying case for this, the box that I kept using to store my wireless microphone? That is destroyed. That got destroyed by the rain. Yeah, luckily I have the foresight. Luckily, when the rain hits the hardest, uh, at least my bag is sort of waterproof, but it's not completely waterproof. If it got wet long enough, the water will seep inside the bag, and it will just wet everything. It will get everything wet. So I had to make a quick stop at the nearest convenience store I could find. And luckily, there are some clothes inside that bag that sort of still dry, because I got drenched so hard during that when the rain got hit, which is why I'm chugging this hot tea, which is now cold. Which is probably I'm probably gonna get a cold tomorrow. I'm probably gonna get sick. Uh, and I managed to save these books from getting hit by the rain. However, some of them are not very lucky, because I also for some reason I thought, hey, maybe I should do ASMR book club while I'm at the city, which I turns out I didn't do. So I decided to bring the subtle art of not giving a fuck, and it is the first one that got hit by the water from the rain. So the spine, so some of the edges, like around this area, it is wet. Yeah, it got wet. Luckily, some of them are majorly pretty much dry. It's just this particular area that got wet. You can actually see the wrinkles from the water. Yeah, which is so devastating. Luckily, it's only like a bootleg copy, so I'm not really sad about that. And the translation book also got hit by the water, but on the same part, just on this area. Luckily, this is also like a photocopy of the book, of the actual book, so I'm not really particularly sad about that. But this book, every time I find the meaning of life, they change it. This is the only one that got completely dry. This is the only dry one. Yep, it's probably because of the hardcover. But yeah, this is pretty much safe. The other ones got wet along with all of my stuff, like my clothes. My laptop got moistened a little bit. The box of my wireless microphone is no longer usable, so I probably need to use this freaking bag, this freaking pouch that came with it, or maybe I should just buy a different set with charging dock, with the charging case. But anyway, so yeah, that's pretty much it for the yeah, that's pretty much it for tonight's show and tell. I'm still pretty much up. I'm gonna turn my camera off because yeah, because Oh, and there's an ad. Yeah. My phone is at low battery. And I need to charge it. Oh no. Where did I put my... Where did I put my charger? Oh, there it is. I just hope that my charger didn't got wet too. But I hope I talk long enough for all my stuff to be dry by now. So let's jump into our next activity, which is the continuation of the ASMR book club. Set game, ASMR. Okay, so how is everyone doing tonight? I hope you're doing well. But before we start with the ASMR, I need to do something. Properties. Yeah, unfortunately, I do not know how to turn this wireless microphone into a stereo. And also, apparently, I cannot change this microphone to panning left and right. So what we're gonna do is that I'm gonna use filter to alright, we're gonna turn off that compressor and we're gonna use a plugin. Now, which one should we use? I believe I could just use the ozone elements. Nope. Nope. The ozone element just won't show up. Okay, which one should we use? Never mind, not density. Okay, how about this? Okay, it's still mono. Yeah, never mind. Was there any? Nope. No, that's not it. Sorry about that. Audio move, audio compressor, 3-band equalizer, expander, gain for polarity, limiter of action, noise gate, noise suppression, source defaults. Nope, that's not it. Yeah, you know what? Let's just. I think this is the. Now reading. Okay, so not giving a fuck. Alright. So, the last time, I believe we were on chapter 2. Now we shall read chapter 3. Oh, almost forgot. UI option, scene, PDP tools, XR animator, accessories, VMC camera, no gesture controls, scenes, no violent, where is it? Basic. You know what? Let's add some classes too in there while we're at it. Okay, how do I put on my reading glasses? I forgot how do I forgot. Okay, gestureless. To bring on your glasses, place props. Where's the wait, I'm already wearing glasses. What am I doing? Phone tracker. God, let's make it even more unhinged. Acoustic guitar. Diagonal hell. Where's the book? Book. Show. To bring out the glasses, place your right hand on your left chest and stick out your index finger horizontally. Yep. To the guys, put your hand right side head, stick out the index finger upward. What do you guys think? You guys like my new glasses? Alright. And bring out the book. Ta-da! Alright. Nice glasses. Thank you. I also got this off my brother's closet. I stole this from my sister-in-law. Alright. Are you guys ready? The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck. A Counterintuitive Approach to Living a Good Life by Mark Manson. Alright, this book doesn't have published by Harper One. I forgot this is a bootleg. It does not have the copyright page. Oh, they do have it. It's just on the back. Alright. Oh, nope. This is just about the publisher. Oh, copyright. First edition published in 2016. Copyright by Mark Manson. Chapter 3. You Are Not Special. I once knew a guy. We'll call him Jimmy. Jimmy always had various business ventures going. On any given day, if you asked him what he was doing, he'd rattle off the name of some firm he was consulting with, or he'd describe a promising medical app that he was looking for angel investors to fund, or he'd talk about some charity event he was supposed to be the keynote speaker of, or how he had an idea for a more efficient type of gas pump that was going to make him billions. The guy was always rolling, always on, and if you gave him an inch of conversational daylight, He'd pulverize you about how world spinning his work was, how brilliant his latest ideas were, and he'd name drop so much it felt like you were talking to a tabloid reporter. Where the heck is my Vaseline? Jimmy was all positivity all the time, always pushing himself, always working an angle, a real go-getter, whatever the fuck that means. The catch was that Jimmy was also a total deadbeat, all talk and no walk, stoned a majority of time, and spending as much money in bars and fine restaurants as he did on his business ideas. Jimmy was a professional leech, living off his family's hard-won money by spending them as well as everybody else in the city on false ideas or future tech glory. Sure, sometimes he'd put in some token effort or pick up the phone and cold call some bigwig and name drop until he ran out of names. But nothing ever actually happened. None of these ventures ever blossomed into anything. Yet the guy kept this up for years, living off girlfriends and more distant relatives well into his late 20s. And the most screwed up part was that Jimmy felt good about it. He had delusional level of self-confidence. People who laughed at him or hung up on him were, in his mind, missing the opportunity of their lives. People who called him out on his bogus business idea were too ignorant or inexperienced to understand his genius. People who pointed out his deadbeat lifestyle were jealous. They were haters who envied his success. Jimmy did make some money, although it was usually through the sketchiest of means, like selling another person's business idea as his own, or finagling a loan from someone, or worse, talking someone into giving equity in their startup. He actually occasionally talked people into paying him to do some public speaking. About what? I can't even imagine. The worst part was that Jimmy believed his own bullshit. His delusion was so bulletproof, it was honestly hard to get mad at him. It was actually kind of amazing. Sometime in the 1960s, developing high self-esteem, having positive thoughts and feelings about oneself became all the rage in psychology. Research found that people who thought highly about themselves generally perform better and cause fewer problems. Whoops, forgot to close my Discord. Many researchers and policymakers at the time came to believe that raising a population's self-esteem could lead to some tangible social benefits: lower crime, better academic records, greater employment, lower budget deficits. As a result, beginning in the next decade, the 1970s, self-esteem practices began to be taught to parents, emphasized by therapists, politicians, and teachers, and instituted into educational policy. Grade inflation, for example, was implemented to make low-achieving kids feel better about their lack of achievement. Participation awards and boost trophies were invented for any number of mundane and expected activities. Kids were given inane homework assignments, like writing down all the reasons why they thought they were special, or 5 things they liked most about themselves. Pastors and ministers told their congregations that they were each uniquely special in God's eyes and were destined to excel and not be average. Business and motivational seminars cropped up chanting the same paradoxical mantra: every single one of us can be exceptional and massively successful. But it's a generation later and the data is in. We're not all exceptional. It turns out that merely feeling good about yourself doesn't really mean anything unless you have a good reason to feel good about yourself. It turns out that adversity and failure are actually useful and even necessary for developing strong-minded and successful adults. It turns out that teaching people to believe they're exceptional and to feel good about themselves, no matter what, doesn't lead to a population full of Bill Gates and Martin Luther Kings. It leads to a population full of Jimmys. Jimmy, the delusional startup founder, Jimmy, who smoked pot every day, had no real marketable skills other than talking himself up and believing it. Jimmy, the type of guy who yelled at his business partner for being immature and then maxed out the company credit card at Lil Bernardin trying to impress some Russian model. Jimmy, who was quickly running out of aunts and uncles who could loan him more money. Yes, that confident, self-esteem Jimmy. The Jimmy who spent so much time talking about how good he was that he forgot to, you know, actually do something. The problem with the self-esteem movement is that it measured self-esteem by how positively people feel about themselves. But a true and accurate measurement of one's self-worth is how people feel about the negative aspects of themselves. If a person like Jimmy feels absolutely fucking great 99.9% of the time, despite his life falling apart around him, then how can that be a valid metric for a successful and happy life? Jimmy is entitled. That is, he feels as thought he deserves good things without actually earning them. He believes he should be able to be rich without actually working for it. He believes he should be liked and well connected without actually helping anyone. He believes he should have an amazing lifestyle without actually sacrificing anything. People like Jimmy become so fixating on feeling good about themselves that they manage to delude themselves into believing that they are accomplishing great things even when they're not. They believe they're the brilliant presenter on stage when actually they're making a fool of themselves. They believe they're the successful startup founder when in fact they've never had a successful venture. They call themselves life coaches and charge money to help others, even though they're only 25 years old and haven't actually accomplished anything substantial in their lives. Entitled people exude a delusional degree of self-confidence. This confidence can be alluring to others, at least for a little while. In some instances, the entitled person's delusional level of confidence can become contagious and help the people around the entitled person feel even more confident in themselves too. Despite all of Jimmy's shenanigans, I have to admit that it was fun hanging out with him sometimes. You felt indestructible around him. But the problem with entitlement is that it makes people need to feel good about themselves all the time, even at the expense of those around them. And because entitled people always need to feel good about themselves, they end up spending most of their time thinking about themselves. After all, it takes a lot of energy and work to convince yourself that your shit doesn't stink, especially when you've actually been living in a toilet. Once people have developed the thought pattern to constantly construe what happens around them as self-aggrandizing, it's extremely hard to break them out of it. Any attempt to reason with them is seen as simply another threat to their superiority by another person who can't handle how smart / talented / good looking / successful they are. Entitlement closes in upon itself in a kind of narcissistic bubble, distorting anything and everything in such a way as to reinforce itself. People who feel entitled view every occurrences in their life as either an affirmation of or a threat to their own greatness. If something good happens to them, it's because of some amazing feat they accomplish. If something bad happens to them, it's because somebody is jealous and trying to bring them down a notch. Entitlement is impervious. People who are entitled delude themselves into whatever feeds their sense of superiority. They keep their mental facade standing at all costs, even if it sometimes requires being physically or emotionally abusive to those around them. But entitlement is a failed strategy. It's just another high. It's not happiness. The true measurement of self-worth is not how a person feels about their positive experiences, but rather how she feels about her negative experiences. A person like Jimmy hides from his problems by making up imagined successes for himself at every turn. And because he can't face his problems, no matter how good he feels about himself, he is weak. A person who actually has a high self-worth is able to look at the negative parts of his character frankly. Yes, sometimes I'm irresponsible with money. Yes, sometimes I exaggerate my own successes. Yes, I rely too much on others to support me and should be more self-reliant. And then acts to improve upon them. But entitled people, because they are incapable of acknowledging their own problems openly and honestly, are incapable of improving their lives in any lasting or meaningful way. They are left chasing high after high and accumulate greater and greater level of denial. But eventually, reality must hit, and the underlying problem will once again make themselves clear. It's just a question of when and how painful it will be. Things fall apart. I sat in my 9 a.m. biology class, arms cradling my head on my desk as I stared at the clock's second-hand making laps, each tick syncopated with the teacher's dronings on about chromosomes and mitosis. Like most 13-year-olds stuck in a stuffy fluorescent classroom, I was bored. A knock came on the door. Mr. Price, the school's assistant principal, stuck his head in. "Excuse me for interrupting. Mark, can you step outside with me for a moment? Oh, and bring your things with you." The hallway was, strange, I thought. Kids get sent to the principal, but the principal rarely gets sent to them. I gathered my things and stepped out. The hallway was empty. Hundreds of beige lockers converged on the horizon. "Mark, can you take me to your locker, please?" "Sure," I say, and slug myself down the hall. Baggy jeans and moppy hair and oversized Pantera t-shirts and all. We get to my locker. "Open it, please," Mr. Price says, so I do. He steps in front of me and gathers my coat, my gym bag, my backpack, all of the locker's content, minus a few notebooks and pencils. He starts walking away. "Come with me, please," he says without looking back. I start to get an uneasy feeling. I follow him to his office, where he asks me to sit down. He closes the door and locks it. He goes over to the window and adjusts the blinds to block the view from outside. My palms begin to sweat. This is not a normal principal visit. Mr. Price sits down and quietly rummages through my things, checking pockets, unzipping zippers, shaking out my gym clothes and placing them on the floor. Without looking up at me, Mr. Price asks, "Do you know what I'm looking for, Mark?" "No," I say. Drugs. The word shooks me into nervous attention. Drugs? I stammer. What kind? He looks at me sternly. I don't know. What kind do you have? He opens one of my binders and checks the small pockets meant for pens. My sweat blossoms like a fungal growth. It spreads from my palms to my arms and now my neck. My temples pulsate as blood floods my brain and face. Like most 13-year-olds freshly accused of possessing narcotics and bringing them to school, I want to run away and hide. I don't know what you're talking about, I protest, the words sounding far meeker than I'd like. I feel as if I should be sounding confident in myself right now. Or maybe not. Maybe I should be scared. Do liars sound more scared or confident? Because however they sound, I want to sound the opposite. Instead, my lack of confidence compounds. Unconfidence about my sounding unconfident make me more unconfident. That fucking feedback look from hell. Well, we'll see about that, he says, turning his attention to my backpack, which seemingly has 100 pockets. Each is loaded with zone-selecting desiderata, colored pens, old notes passed in class, early 90s CDs with cracked cases, dried up markers, an old sketchpad with half of its pages missing, dust and lint and crap accumulated during a maddeningly circuitous middle school existence. My sweat must be pumping at the speed of light, because time extends itself and dilates such that what is mere seconds on that 9 a.m. second period biology clock now feels like Paleolithic eons. And I'm growing up and dying every minute. Just me and Mr. Price and my bottomless backpack. Somewhere around the Mesolithic age, Mr. Price finishes searching the backpack. Having found nothing, he seems flustered. He turns the pack upside down and lets all of my crap crash into his office floor. He is now sweating as profusely as I am, except in place of my terror, there is his anger. No drugs today, eh? He tries to sound casual. Nope, so do I. He spreads my stuff out, separating each item and coagulating them into little piles behind my gym gear. My coat and my backpack now lie empty and lifeless on his lap. He sighs and stares at the wall. Like most 13-year-olds locked in an office with a man angrily throwing their shit all over the floor, I want to cry. Mr. Price scans the contents of Arknights on the floor. Nothing illicit or illegal, no narcotics, not even anything against school policy. He sighs and then throws the coat and backpack on the floor too. He bends over and puts his elbows on his knees, making his face level with mine. Mark, I'm going to give you one last chance to be honest with me. If you are honest, this will turn out much better for you. If it turns out you're lying, then it's going to be much worse. As if on cue, I gulp. Now, tell me the truth, Mr. Price demands. Did you bring drugs to school today? Fighting back tears, screams clawing at my throat. I stare my tormentor in the face, and in a pleading voice, dying to be relieved of its adolescent horrors, I say, No, I don't have any drugs. I have no idea what you're talking about. Okay, he says, signaling surrender. I guess you can collect your things and go. He takes one last longing gaze at my deflated backpack. lying like a broken promise there on his office floor. He casually puts one foot down on the back, stomping lightly, a last-ditch effort. I anxiously wait for him to get up and leave so I can get on with my life and forget this whole nightmare. But his foot stops on something. "What's this?" he asks, tapping with his foot. "What is that?" I say. "There's still something in here." He picks up the bag and starts feeling around the bottom of it. For me, the room gets fuzzy. Everything goes wobbly. When I was young, I was smart. I was friendly. But I was also a shithead. I mean that in the most loving way possible. I was a rebellious, sliding little shithead, angry and full of resentment. When I was 12, I hacked my house's security system with refrigerator magnets so I could sneak out undetected in the middle of the night. My friend and I would put his mom's car in neutral and push it into the street so we could drive around without waking her up. I would write papers about abortion because I knew my English teacher was a hardcore conservative Christian. Another friend and I stole cigarettes from his mom and sold them to kids out behind the school. And I also cut a secret compartment into the bottom of my backpack to hide my marijuana. That was the same hidden compartment Mr. Price found after stepping on the drugs I was hiding. I had been lying. And, as promised, Mr. Price didn't go easy on me. A few hours later, like most 13-year-olds handcuffed in the back of a police car, I thought my life was over. And I was kind of right, in a way. My parents quarantined me at home. I was to have no friends for the foreseeable future. Having been expelled from school, I was to be homeschooled for the rest of the year. My mom made me get a haircut and threw all of my Marilyn Manson and Metallica shirts, which, for an adolescent in 1998, a tantamount to being sentenced to death by lameness. My dad dragged me to his office with him in the mornings and made me file papers for hours on end. Once homeschooling was over, I was enrolled in a small private Christian school where, and this may not surprise you, I didn't exactly fit right in. And just when I had finally cleaned up my act and turned in my assignments and learned the value of good clerical responsibility, my parents decided to get divorced. I'll tell you all this only to point out that my adolescence sucked donkey's balls. I lost all of my friends, my community, my legal rights, and my family within the span of about 9 months. My therapist in my 20s would later call this some real traumatic shit. And I would spend the next decade and change working on unraveling it and becoming less of a self-absorbed, entitled little prick. The problem with my home life back then was that not all of the horrible things that were said or done, rather, it was all of the horrible things that needed to be said and done but weren't. My family stonewalls the way of Warren Buffett makes money or Jenna Jameson fucks. We are champions at it. The house could have been burning down around us and it would have been met with, "Oh no, everything's fine. A tad warm in here perhaps, but really, everything's fine." When my parents got divorced, there were no broken dishes, no slammed doors, no screaming arguments about who fucked whom. Once they had reassured my brother and me that it wasn't our fault, we had a Q&A session, and yes, you read that right, about the logistic of the new living arrangement. Not a tear was shed, not a voice was raised. The closest peek my brother and I got into our parents' unwrapping emotional lives was hearing, "Nobody cheated on anybody." Ah, that was nice. It was a tad warm in the room, but really, everything was fine. My parents are good people. I don't blame them for any of this, not anymore at least. And I love them very much. They have their own stories and their own journeys and their own problems, just as all parents do. And just as all of their parents do, and so on. And like all parents, my parents, with the best of intentions, imparted some of their problems to me, as I probably will do to my kids. When real traumatic shit like this happens in our lives, we begin to unconsciously feel as though we have problems that we're incapable of ever solving. And this assumed inability to solve our problems causes us to feel miserable and helpless. But it also causes something else to happen. If we have problems that are unsolvable, our unconscious figures that we're either uniquely special or uniquely defective in some way, that we're somehow unlike everyone else, and that rules must be different from us. That must be different for us. To put simply, we become entitled. The pain from my adolescence had led me down on a road of entitlement that lasted through much of my early adulthood, whereas Jimmy's entitlement play out in the business world where he pretended to be a huge success. My entitlement play out in my relationships, particularly with women. My trauma had revolved around intimacy and acceptance, so I felt a constant need to overcompensate, to prove to myself that I was loved and accepted at all times. And as a result, I soon took to chasing women the same way a cocaine addict takes to a snowman made out of coke. I made sweet love to it, and then promptly suffocated myself in it. I became a player, an immature, selfish, albeit sometimes charming player, and I strung up a long series of superficial and unhealthy relationships for the better part of a decade. It wasn't so much the sex I craved, although the sex was fun. It was the validation. I was wanted. I was loved. For the first time since I could remember, I was worthy. My craving for validation quickly fed into a mental habit of self-aggrandizing and overindulgence. I felt entitled to say or do whatever I wanted, to break people's trust, to ignore people's feeling, and then justify it later with shitty half-ass apologies. While this period certainly had its moments of fun and excitement, and I met some wonderful women, my life was more or less a wreck the whole time. I was often unemployed, living on friends' couches or with my mom, drinking way more than I should have been, alienating a number of friends, and when I did meet a woman I really liked, my self-absorption quickly torpedoed everything. The deeper the pain, the more helpless we feel against our problems, and the more entitlement we adopt to compensate for those problems. This entitlement plays out in one of two ways. 1. I'm awesome and the rest of you all suck, so I deserve more special treatment. 2. I suck and the rest of you all awesome, so I deserve special treatment. Opposite mindset on the outside, but the same selfish creamy core in the middle. In fact, you will often see entitled people flip back and forth between the two. Either they're on top of the world or the world is on top of them, depending on the day of the week or how well they're doing with their particular addiction at that moment. Most people correctly identify a person like Jimmy as a raging narcissistic asshat. That's because he's pretty blatant in his delusionally high self-regard. What most people don't correctly identify as entitlement are those people who perpetually feel as though they're inferior and unworthy of the world. Because construing everything in life so as to make yourself out to be constantly victimized require as much selfishness as the opposite. It takes just as much energy and delusional self-aggrandizement to maintain the belief that one was insurmountable problems as that one has no problem at all. The truth is that there is no such thing as personal problem. If you've got a problem, chances are millions of other people have had it in the past, have it now, and are going to have it in the future. Likely people you know too. That doesn't minimize the problem or mean that it shouldn't hurt. It doesn't mean you aren't legitimately a victim in some circumstances. It just means you're not special. Often it's this realization that you and your problems are actually not privileged in the severity of pain. That is the first and most important step towards solving them. But for some reason, it appears that more and more people, particularly young people, are forgetting this. Numerous professors and educators have noted a lack of emotional resilience and an excess of selfish demands in today's young people. It's not uncommon now for books to be removed from a class's curriculum for no other reason that they made someone feel bad. Speakers and professors are shutted down and banned from campuses for infraction as simple as suggesting that maybe some Halloween costumes really aren't that offensive. School counselors note that more students than ever are exhibiting severe signs of emotional distress over what are otherwise run-of-the-mill daily college experiences, such as an argument with a roommate or getting a low grade in a class. It's strange that in an age where we are more connected than ever, entitlement seems to be at an all-time high. Something about recent technology seems to allow our insecurities to run amok like never before. The more freedom we're given to express ourselves, the more we want to be free of wanting to deal with anyone who may disagree with us or upsets us. The more exposed we are to opposing viewpoints, the more we seem to get upset that those other viewpoints exist. The easier and more problem-free our lives become, the more we seem to feel entitled for them to get even better. The benefits of the internet and social media are unquestionably fantastic. In many ways, this is the best time in the history to be alive. But perhaps these technologies are having some unintended social side effects. Perhaps these same technologies that have liberated and educated so many are simultaneously enabling people's sense of entitlement more than ever before. Oh, it started to rain. The tyranny of exceptionalism. Most of us are pretty average at most things we do. Even if you're exceptional at one thing, chances are you're average or below average at most other things. That's just the nature of life. To become truly great at something, you have to dedicate tons of time and energy to it. And because we all have limited time and energy, few of us ever become truly exceptional at more than one thing, if anything at all. We can then say that it's statistical improbability that any single person will be an extraordinary performer in all areas of life, or even in many areas of their life. Brilliant businesses are often fuck-ups in their personal lives. Extraordinary athletes are often shallow and as dumb as lobotomized rock. Many celebrities are probably just as clueless about life as the people who got at them and follow their every move. We're all, for the most part, pretty average people, but it's the extremes that gets all of the publicity. We kind of know this already, but we barely think and or talk about it, and we certainly never discuss why this could be a problem. Having the internet, Google, Facebook, YouTube, and access to 500 plus channels of television is amazing. But our attention is limited. There is no way we can progress the tidal waves of information flowing past us constantly. Therefore, the only zeros and ones that break through and catch our attention are the truly exceptional piece of information. Those in the 99.999th percentile. All day, every day, we are flooded with the truly extraordinary, the best of the best, the worst of the worst, the greatest physical feats, the funniest jokes, the most upsetting news, the scariest threats, non-stop. Our lives today are filled with information from the extremes of the bell curve of human experience, because in the media business, that's what gets the eyeballs, and eyeballs brings dollars. That's the bottom line. Yet the vast majority of life resides in the humdrum middle. The vast majority of life is unextraordinary, indeed quite average. This flood of extreme information has conditioned us to believe that exceptionalism is the new normal, and because we're all quite average most of the time, the deluge of exceptional information drives us to feel pretty damn insecure and desperate, because clearly we are somehow not good enough. So more and more we feel the need to compensate through entitlement and addiction. We cope the only way we know how, either through self-aggrandizing or through other aggrandizing. Some of us do this by cooking up get-rich-quick schemes. Others do it by talking off across the world to save starving babies in Africa. Others do it by excelling in school and winning every awards. Others do it by shooting up a school. Others do it by trying to have sex with anything that talks and breathes. This ties into the growing culture of entitlement that I talked about earlier. Millennials often get blamed for this culture shift, but that's likely because millennials are on the most plugged in and visible generation. In fact, the tendency toward entitlement is apparent across all society. And I believe it's linked to mass media driven exceptionalism. The problem is that the pervasiveness of technology and mass marketing is screwing up a lot of people's expectations for themselves. The inundation of the exceptional makes people feel worse about themselves, making them feel that they need to be more extreme, more radical, and more self-assured to get noticed or even matter. When I was a young man, my insecurities around intimacy was exacerbated by all the ridiculous narratives of masculinity circulating throughout pop culture, and those same narratives are still circulating. To be a cool guy, you have to party like a rock star. To be respected, you have to be admired by women. Sex is the most valuable thing a man can attain, and it's worth sacrificing anything, including your own dignity, to get it. This constant stream of unrealistic media dogpiles onto our existing feelings of insecurity by overexposing us to the unrealistic standards we fail to live up to. Not only do we feel subjected to unsolvable problems, but we feel like losers because a simple Google search shows us thousands of people without those same problems. Technology has solved our old economic problems by giving us new psychological problems. The internet has not just open source information, it has also open source insecurity, self-doubt, and shame. But if I'm not going to be special or extraordinary, what's the point? It has become an accepted part of our culture today to believe that we are all destined to do something truly extraordinary. Celebrities says it, business tycoons say it, politicians say it, even Oprah says it, so it must be true. Each and every one of us can be extraordinary. We all deserve greatness. The fact that this statement is inherently contradictory, after all, if everyone were extraordinary, then by definition, no one would be extraordinary, is missed by most people. Instead of questioning what we actually deserve or don't deserve, we eat the message up and ask for more. Being average has become the new standard of failure. The worst thing you can be is in the middle of the pack and the middle of the bell curve. When a culture standard of success is to be extraordinary, it then becomes better to be at the extreme low end of the bell curve than to be in the middle, because at least there you're still special and deserve attention. Many people choose this strategy to prove to everyone that they are the most miserable or the most oppressed or the most victimized. A lot of people are afraid to accept mediocrity because they believe that if they accept it, they'll never achieve anything, never improve, and that their life won't matter. This sort of thinking is dangerous. Once you accept the premise that life is worthwhile only if it is truly notable and great, then you basically accept the fact that most of the human population, including yourself, sucks and is worthless. And this mindset can quickly turn dangerous to both yourself and others. The rare people who do become truly exceptional at something do so not because they believe they're exceptional. On the contrary, they become amazing because they're obsessed with improvement, and that obsession with improvement stems from an unerring belief that they are, in fact, not as great at all. It's anti-entitlement. People who become great at something become great because they understand that they're not already great. They are mediocre. They are average. And that they could be so much better. All of this, every person can be extraordinary and achieve greatness stuff, is basically just jerking off your ego. It's a message that it's a message that tastes good going down, but in reality is nothing more than empty calories that makes you emotionally fat and bloated. The proverbial Big Mac of your heart and your brain. The ticket to emotional health, like that to physical health, comes from eating your veggies. That is, accepting the bland and mundane truths of life. Truths such as your actions actually don't matter that much in the grand scheme of things, and the vast majority of your life will be boring and not noteworthy, and that's okay. This vegetable course will taste bad at first, very bad. You will avoid accepting it. But once ingested, your body will wake up feeling more potent and more alive. After all, that constant pressure to be something amazing, to be the next big thing, will be lifted off your back. The stress and anxiety of always feeling inadequate and constantly needing to prove yourself will dissipate, and knowledge and acceptance of your own mundane existence will actually free you to accomplish what you truly wish to accomplish without judgment or lofty expectations. You will have a growing appreciation for life's basic experiences, the pleasure of simple friendship, creating something, helping a person in need, reading a book, laughing with someone you care about. Sounds boring, doesn't it? That's because these things are ordinary. But maybe they're ordinary for a reason, because they are what actually matters. End of chapter 3. Oh, how do I remove this? Yeah. Oh, yay! I managed to. Wow. So that is the end of chapter 3. We could move on. How much for chapter 4? I think chapter 4 was like the actual far that I read. Yeah, I think I was like around page, that page 44. Yeah, you guys will actually caught up to where I read until now. Yeah, it is now 11:41, and I think it is a good time to end tonight's stream. Let's see who can we read. And oh, the Mountain Outbreak by Togi Production is finally out. Yeah, thank you so much for watching. Let me see who we can rate. Do you have anyone that we can rate? Soup. Yeah, let's rate Soup. Oh, Kyosen is in here. Lomi. Alright. Yeah, let's do that. Yeah. So anyway, thank you so much for watching. If you like what you see, don't forget to hit that like button. And if you want to see more, consider subscribing or follow me on Twitch. I stream at least once a week. I play video games, I translate manga, I do ASMR, and I do a bunch of other things. Consider, if you guys want to support me, please leave a donation through either my coffee, or if you live in Indonesia, through my Saweria or Traktir as well. I'm currently having a promotion where every $15 I collected through coffee donation, I will add one extra chapter to the queue. I forgot to hit like. Oh, do that. You can do that after the stream. Also, if you have, if you want to support me on monthly basis, I have a Patreon over at patreon.com/Nana10, where you can get 1 week early access to all of my content, such as manga translation and whole other thing. Okay, so anyway, look at all these Patreons. Yeah, if you want your name to be included on this list, join my Patreon. Alright, we are rating Lomi. Let's see. Hello. Wow, Philippines. EP. Whoops. EP rate time. Yay. Everyone. Oh, and it's a follower only. Yeah. So, thank you so much for watching. Oh yeah, don't forget to join my Discord server. So you can support me by buying my merch, and yeah, that's pretty much it for tonight's stream. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next stream. I still don't know what I'm going to stream, but yeah, see ya. Bye, and end stream.